If you want to use Adobe Audition effectively, you have to make full use of the effects rack. You can see the effects rack here. The effects rack is mainly for stacking multiple audio effects in one place, so they will work like a unit. If the effects rack is not visible on your screen, you can go to the Window menu and then enable Effects Rack from there. Inside Effects Rack, you can see some built-in presets. These built-in presets are actually not very useful for professional voiceover. We will actually see how to put our necessary effects that are suited for voiceover and build our own presets for Effects Rack. If you have been following me for some time on YouTube or through my courses, you already know I have some presets that I have built for other people. For example, I have this Clear Voice preset. If we go to this Clear Voice preset, we can see all the effects, and inside this preset, all these effects are actually pre-configured with the necessary suitable values for voice. When you load a preset into the effects rack, you'll see all the effects appear here with their configurations already set. You'll also notice two meters, input and output. The input meter shows your original recording. The output meter shows the processed signal after the effects in the effects rack are applied. If I play the audio now, you can clearly see the difference between the input and the output. There's also a toggle button here that allows you to turn the effects rack on or off. This is very important. It lets you instantly compare your raw audio with the processed version.
Some people claim that all aerators are created equal. Well, we beg to differ. Ranchworks Pastor aerators are engineered with forged wrench tech blades designed to penetrate deeper and aerate more effectively than any other aerator on the market.
When I toggle the effects rack on and off, you can hear the change in audio quality and also see the difference on the meters. This is how you verify whether your processing is actually improving the sound. The goal is to place all the necessary effects inside the effects rack and configure them properly so the audio is processed exactly the way you want. Now the question is, how do you add effects to the effects rack? Let me reset this to the default so there are no effects loaded. You'll notice numbered slots, 1, 2, 3, and so on. Each slot represents a position in the processing chain. Your audio passes through the first effect, then the output of that effect is passed to the next one, then to the next, and so on. This is how effect chaining works. If you click on one of these arrows, you can choose which effect you want to add. For example, if you want to apply EQ, you can select Parametric Equalizer from the menu. Once the effect is added, you can also choose a preset or adjust the settings manually. Configuring an effect that is added through the effects rack is no different than configuring that effect generally. If I want to use a high-pass filter, I can choose that preset from here. If I want to adjust some configuration on the curve, I can do that. You can add as many effects as you want. How many you use and how you configure them depends entirely on your workflow and your goal. For example, I want to add a compressor effect through Dynamics, so I have added that. If I want to change this, I can change some configuration. It is also possible to listen to the audio and adjust it depending on how it sounds. We will eventually learn those as we progress through this course. We will learn how to actually find the best settings in a given scenario. Once you've built a setup you like, you can save it as a preset. For example, I'll name this preset Course Demo and save it. This preset will now be available inside, and I can now toggle between different presets if I want. If I want to go back to my Course Demo preset, I can do that. I will see that preset with all the configurations I have made into it. This is how effects rack presets are built and reused. Now, an important thing to understand. Not all effects in Adobe Audition can be added to the effects rack. For example, if you go to Amplitude and Compression, you'll notice that Normalize does not appear as an option in the effects rack. If I go to Noise Reduction and Restoration, you can see some noise reduction effects, but not all of them appear here. If I go to Noise Reduction and Restoration from the Effects menu, you will see a lot more effects appearing there. You can also see that some of the names have the word Process beside it, and all the names that have the process beside them are not appearing in the effects rack. Here's why. Any effect that has the word process next to its name cannot be used inside the effects rack. That's because the effects rack works in real time as a continuous processing chain. Audio flows from one effect to the next without permanently changing the waveform. Process-based effects, on the other hand, permanently modify the audio and must be applied separately. So if an effect has process written next to it, it cannot be added to the effects rack. For example, Normalize is a process-based effect. You must apply it separately before or after using the effects rack. You cannot insert it directly into the chain. This means that if you rely only on effects rack effects, some parts of your workflow, like normalization, will happen outside the rack. We'll discuss how to structure your workflow properly as we move forward, so this doesn't become confusing or break your processing chain. For now, I strongly recommend experimenting. Add a few effects, build a preset, and try extreme settings. Play the audio and change parameters while listening. Notice how the sound changes in real time.
Some people claim that all aerators are created equal. Well, we beg to differ. Ranchworks Pastor aerators are engineered with forged wrench tech blades designed to penetrate deeper and aerate more effectively than any other aerator on the market, with a lifetime guarantee against breakage to back it up. Weight, cutting surface, and speed set us apart. Visit ranch.com to see why.
This hands-on experimentation will help you understand how each effect behaves, how effects interact with each other, and how different configurations affect your audio. As we continue through the course, we'll go deeper into these features and refine your workflow step by step. If you're watching this video on YouTube, this lesson is actually part of my professional voice-over workflow course, where I teach Adobe Audition combined with third-party plugins. You can enroll in that course using the link in the description and pinned comment. You can also watch a more detailed video on the card on the screen. Thanks for watching.